It is the Riot Podcast. This is your Wednesday, October 25th edition. Thanks for joining us today in the show. Would You Rather Wednesday, of course. It all revolves around stealing food from the office break room, something we have a lot of experience with. We also talk about swift fishing and why Meta is getting sued and why Isaiah doesn't think it's a big deal.
We also talk about a girl who's upset with her 9-to-5 job, wondering how anyone has time for anything.
Did we give some tips on that? It's a good show. Probably our best show today, if I had to guess.
Probably the best one, yeah.
Yeah. So enjoy. And we'll catch you next time.
See you guys.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
This gal, her name is Brielle, a recent college graduate who's gone a little viral on TikTok because she just got her first real life 9-to-5 job where she has to go into the office. And so the TikTok, if you haven't seen it, I would play it, except she curses a fair amount. She is crying about how, literally crying, about how now that she has a 9-to-5 job, she has no time for anything else in life. And she actually lays out a pretty good case. She's just kind of asking rhetorically a bunch of questions like, how do you have time to have friends? How do I have time to meet a guy? How do I have time to do anything? I don't have energy or time for any of these things anymore now that I have a 9-to-5 job. What's your response, Isaiah? How do we do it?
I would say it's all about just, prioritizing important things.
Mm-hmm.
You really live up the weekends when you have a 9-to-5 job.
Smart. Yeah, that's true.
Monday through Friday, you get all your stuff done that you have to get done so that your weekends are very free, I would say.
Yeah. I think, so she is complaining that she has no energy now that she's working a 9-to-5 job in an office. I understand that. She says part of her complaint is she works in a city, but she can't afford to live in the city, of course. So she takes the train, and that's like an hour and a half. So she's leaving at 7:30 in the morning. She has to get up before that to get ready. 7:30, she hops on the train, get to work. Obviously, she gets home then. You're talking 6:30, and then there's time to shower, eat dinner, but she can't cook dinner because she's too tired, and then go to bed. And that's her life during the week. My advice might be, and I can't help you with the energy thing, if you want to do stuff, you want to go on dates, do that in the city. Meet somebody right after work. There's got to be other people. There's other people doing the same thing as you.
Yeah, that's what I always think too, is like, in your mind, your struggles are always so tough and no one understands your struggles. But you would be surprised as to how much people are struggling around you. You would be surprised that there's always a saying that you could throw a rock as far as somebody who's going through the same problems that you are every day. And so you might think it's just you, where it's always a lot more people than you realize.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, pretty much everybody is working that 9-to-5.
Look around your office. There's probably other people they're working the same job as you, same hours. They're probably experiencing very similar.
And in the beginning,
situation.
It's hard, and you'll get used to it.
You got to get you'll get your second wind.
And you'll figure out what works for you. I mean, obviously getting on the train, not ideal.
No. A total of 3-hour commute.
Taking that every day.
Think about what you could get done on the train, though.
It's a good time to utilize.
You're not driving. Podcasts, reading, listening to the Riot on at that time.
That would be a good way to spend it.
Probably the best use of your time, I would have to say. How about this? Based off of this, what was your realization when you realized you're an adult now? Because I think this is it for her.
It has to be. Yeah, I think right when you get that first job is really when you realize that your time to change. You probably go to bed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That way you're not so tired when you're working.
Yep, that's right. If you're leaving on the train at 7:30, you have to have an early bedtime probably. And that'd be a big realization.
And there's days that you just feel like you don't do anything fun, and that's just how it goes.
That's a lot of days as an adult.
Yeah, it is.
You'd expect living alone, You got your own money.
Do whatever you
want.
want. You can do whatever you
Yeah.
want. And there's a lot of days where you go to the grocery store and you make dinner and you go to bed
Yep.
and you're just tired. And then on the weekends, guess what? You can live it up. But if you don't live up your weekends and you don't make plans, it can be a drag, man. It can be a drag.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
It is Would You Rather Wednesday. If you've ever got a good Would You Rather Wednesday question you think we should do on the show, let us know at 8772 Radio U. Our question today coming from Eric, who asked, would you rather have everyone think you're stealing their food from the break room, or everyone is stealing your food from the break room? Which would you prefer? 8772 Radio U. You want to be the stealer, the presumed stealer, or the stealee?
It's a good question. I think it also depend on work atmosphere.
Okay, go on.
This could go break room to break room. If you're not one who brings a lot of food to work, you probably don't care if people are stealing your little snacks. What is there to steal, some might say.
Yeah. But it would be tough because then, like, let's not get too unique with it. Let's just assume we're talking a 9-to-5 job where everybody has lunch break. And if you have to have lunch.
Yeah, you're eating a lunch.
So then if you can't bring your lunch, and leave it in the fridge or something, you're forced to buy lunch every day. That adds up. But I agree with you that it depends break room to break room, because I can imagine some break rooms, some offices would be very chill about if you were the one that was stealing food. They would kind of be like, yeah, whatever. That's just Bob. He just steals the food. Whatever. We live with it. But some offices, tensions would rise very quickly, and you would be very frowned upon. You'd be ostracized in the office if you were
blackballed, some would say.
Yeah. So a lot to think about with this one. Would you rather everyone think that you're the one stealing their food from the break room, or would you rather everyone steals your food? 8772 Radio U. Text in with your thoughts for Would You Rather Wednesday.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
The question is for Would You Rather Wednesday, would you rather have everyone at your office think you're stealing their food from the break room, even though I guess you're not, or would you rather have your food stolen by other people from the office all the time? 8772 Radio U. Text in with your response. Katie says, let them steal my food. I put digestive enzymes in my milk I keep at work. They ain't going to steal my milk for long. Katie, you fiend. That'll teach him. But that is a lot of the sentiment seems to be, if
steal away.
Yeah, if people want to steal, I'll show them. Regina also said she'd go with having her lunch stolen because she'd start adding gross or spicy add-ins to eventually dissuade the thieves. Shrew says, I can get McDonald's for like $2 a day for lunch so they can steal from me. Besides, I can load my food up so it's spicy. A lot of, I guess, vindictive people here that it feels like, Regina did say that there's been notes left on her workplace fridge. Feels like these people have been around this block a time or two where people have stolen from them. Perhaps. Now, if you want something from the other side, Brandon says, I would rather people think I'm stealing their food because I've learned in life that if you allow other people's opinion of you to dictate your behavior, then you'll never truly grow as an individual. That's deep.
Boom, bang, bing.
That's deep right there. He also says, it'd be kind of nice to be able to eat my lunch without having to worry about it being stolen. Good thoughts, Brandon. Isaiah, where do you come down on this?
For me, I went back and forth on this one. I lean being the stealer.
You want to be the stealer.
I'm the stealer.
The would-be stealer.
I'm the would-be stealer.
And why do you say that?
Because for me, I know that I'm doing nothing wrong. So I would rather be the stealer. And if people think I'm stealing, you know what? You can think that.
But wouldn't you be worried about being the one individual at the office that, nobody's going to like you?
That's okay.
Yeah,
but
I guess you've already dealt with that. So.
I would rather go through that than people steal. I would get so upset if my food was constantly stolen.
Yeah.
Because I bring a lot of food to my workplace. I just brought a full bag of chicken nuggets today. If I came into lunch and they were like 20 of them were gone, that was an $11 bag.
And then think about this. Everybody's saying, well, I would just poison my food with spiciness or whatever so that nobody else, they would get a lesson learned. Yeah, but think about this. Once they catch on that you're doing that, then you have to bring that food, poison it. They're still going to avoid it. And you still have to buy your own lunch. You still have to go out and buy lunch somewhere. I lean to you with being the food stealer, but I have a different, much less, my reasoning is much worse. It's that if everyone thinks I'm stealing their food anyways, I might as well just steal it. And so...
Oh, so you're actually going to...
Then I'm going to
just going to steal.
And I'm getting all this free food.
See, I wouldn't go to the point of stealing.
You wouldn't, even if everybody assumed...
If everyone assumed I'm doing it, it would make... I could sleep well at night knowing that, you know what, everybody thinks I'm a bad guy.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm not a bad guy. Where you, on the other hand, you would just be you would be the worst person at the workplace.
I am a bad guy.
Everyone would hate you for a good reason.
Well, they made me this way.
Oh, hi there.
This worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
Don't know if you saw this yesterday. Meta's in some big trouble. Meta, the company behind Facebook and Instagram. Listen to this, Isaiah. Meta is being sued by 42 attorneys general. That's almost, there's an attorney general in every state in the United States. That's almost every attorney general there is suing Meta. The reason they're being sued is because they are accused of making Facebook and Instagram addictive to teens and children. And so almost every state in this union is agreeing that it's a problem and Facebook is being sued, or Meta is being sued because of it. 33 different states all suing together, a federal lawsuit, and then also 9 other states individually suing Facebook, Instagram, Meta individually as well. I've got a good quote here. Jonathan Skermetti, he's the Attorney General from Tennessee. He says, "We have polarization, the likes of which we have not seen since the Civil War. And so for all the attorneys general from both parties, people who frequently disagree very vocally and publicly, to all come together and move in the same direction, I think that says something." That's what he says. I like how he says, "We have polarization, the likes of which we've never seen." And that's justification that this must be bad and not, maybe we're too polarized. But that said, I do think it's bad. I think Meta's in trouble here.
He said, this is General Brian Schwab. "It should have been the practice of Meta to alert people that they were dealing with a dangerous, potentially addictive product before they started using it."
All the mental health issues that Facebook and Instagram have contributed to all these years, it's all finally coming to bear. So what happens next?
Says the Meta designed algorithms, copious alerts, notifications, and so-called infinite scroll-through platform feeds that can keep the teens on there for hours.
I'll say they did. So now what? First of all, let's say they lose. Let's say these 42 attorneys general win, and Facebook has to pay. How do they repay us? What do we get? We were on Facebook and Instagram as teens, right?
We were.
What do we get out of this? Is my first question.
I have no idea.
Probably nothing.
Nothing. Not a thing. What is this?
Yeah,
this
is not going to be restitution for us.
This is ridiculousness.
I also want to know then, what are they going to do better in the future? Is it going to be like...
They're going to take away... This is what's going to happen. So if these people win, this is what happens, right? We get rid of... Well, obviously they aren't suing TikTok, but TikTok-style feeds out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can't
TikTok's next.
You can't have it be scroll forever. So Reel's gone.
Well, I think you could. I think you just have to be over 18. Once you're over 18, you can do what you want.
This is so silly.
You can go to the gas station and show your ID to Deborah, and she will give you tobacco. But if you're under 18, it doesn't work. I think Facebook and Instagram will be the same way.
There's no chance. 0%er. This is such a waste of time.
It's 42 attorneys general.
So you're telling me if you had to put down money, I'll bet. If any of the listeners would like to gamble, let's gamble. You guys think that Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat are going to have to be 18 plus? There's not a world where that happens. That's so much of their audience.
Either that
they
or
would close the platform before they did that.
I think there's a chance of that, or they have to have a different version.
A kid's version of Instagram.
Like YouTube Kids, but Facebook Kids. I mean, no kids want to be on Facebook, but Instagram Kids, TikTok Kids.
No chance.
It's coming one day.
0%er. What a waste of time.
They're
so out of touch.
They're in trouble.
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
It's Taylor Swift's world. We're just living in it. Everything revolves around her, including online dating, the dating apps. There's an accusation going around now of many men, a certain group of men on the dating apps. They're being called Swift fishers. Can you guess what a Swift fisher would be?
A good fisherman. What it sounds like to me.
Yeah, that's right. He gets it done.
He's a swift fisher.
A Swift fisher is a man who would, in his profile, put something alluding to Taylor Swift fandom, his favorite songs, that he's down for a Taylor Swift concert, like that kind of thing. And then when push comes to shove and when pressed on the matter, maybe in person, maybe in messages, it comes to light that he's a pretender. He is not a true Taylor Swift fan at all. He just puts that on there because he thinks that's what women want to see. You wouldn't do that, would you?
No, I wouldn't do that.
No.
I wouldn't put on a front, be somebody I'm not.
Yeah. But it does lead me to my question, which is, we all know catfishing. That's typically in regards to like pictures, right? You put up pictures that aren't really, they may not be you at all. They definitely paint you in a better light. Maybe they're old pictures where you're younger and better looking, whatever. That's one thing. But have you ever experienced somebody that put something on their dating profile that later turns out to be definitely a lie or quite the exaggeration?
Have I ever came across that?
Have you?
I've never done something like that.
No, but have you ever like talked to a gal and it's like, I don't know, I was just trying to think of an example. Oh, I love The Office. Really? What's your favorite episode? Stunned silence.
I've never gone through something like that.
You've not gone through that.
Usually people's profiles are pretty bland.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people have trouble putting what to put on there anyway.
Yeah.
So I think
it's hard to catch somebody's, catch, because I maybe because we're just all truly, the majority of us, boring people.
And so, you know what? Somebody lied on there, they lied on there.
Yeah. It doesn't even bother you?
Doesn't even bother me. If you said that you're a big fan of this or that, which for me, I would never run into because a girl would never have to do this.
That's true. It's
This would be a
all-
thing a guy would do.
Yep, I was thinking that too. This is
A girl would
totally
never
dude
lie on
thing.
their profile. That's just, they wouldn't do that.
And as far as the Taylor Swift thing goes, I think I can imagine this even more. A woman being tripped up by this unknowingly, and that is putting something on your profile you think that the opposite sex would like to see because you're kind of interested. But then the people that are drawn to that are people that are way more into it than you actually are.
True.
And so you thought you were interested, but you're not interested.
Not enough
So
for them.
There's got to be a lot of guys that are putting Taylor Swift. Yeah, girls like Taylor Swift. Yeah, I like Taylor Swift. Love Story. It's a good song. And then the girl's like, Love Story is your favorite song? Name 3 others, and you can't do it.
Yeah, like I
And you
could
get caught,
easily.
you get found out, but you didn't realize.
Yeah, like I could easily put I'm a Taylor Swift fan on my profile, and I would consider that true.
Mm-hmm.
I know a good amount of her songs. I probably could sing the majority of her songs.
Yeah.
I know, like I probably, but in my mind, that's like 6 songs. And most Taylor Swift fans, they'd be like, "What do you know? Style?
She's got an extensive collection.
Do you know All Too Well?" And I would just go through and I'd be like, "No,
Yeah.
no."
If
In my
you're-
mind, I'm a Taylor Swift fan.
If your favorite Taylor Swift song isn't from the 3 a.m. edition exclusively, then you're not a real fan.
The fandom. No one's ever good enough. You're never a good enough fan of anything.
Exactly. That's what I think probably. I bet you that's the thought process of a lot of these guys, these Swift fishers.
They're like, I am a Taylor Swift fan.
Yeah.
You're not good enough, brother. If you like that video, there's a ton more. Go check out our past videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.